Hi everyone, it's Phil from Ashland Leather. Today is election day and I've got quite a lot of wallets and watch straps and a Horween Leather belt and things for you to vote on what's your favorite in the batch that we're shipping out today. And many of these things are some of my favorite pieces that I've ever seen before. So let's start off first with looking at this tall Tony the Ant. And what's really neat about this particular one is we have this beautiful English tan Dublin on the outside. This one's also been hand stitched with a cream thread that I like very much. The tall Tony has this really sleek singular piece on the outside, which is really neat. And what that allows us to do is to make the insides a little bit more clean as well. And I really like how this one turned out. So we've got all English tan on the inside of this tall Tony. Let me show you one more tall Tony with the same concept. So on the inside of this one, we have garnet shell Cordovan. This customer requested to have no stamps to be placed on the inside of this one. I think it's a really good look on the inside. On the outside here, this is color 8 shell Cordovan, that classic Cordovan color. And this one's been personalized for Lee, so thank you so much, Lee. Can't wait for you to have this one. And let's have a look at some one-shot card cases that are going out today. This one's in English tan Dublin, really incredible grain character on this piece. Really nice color of the English tan Dublin. I really like that vibrant sort of orangey tan shade with a little bit of brown to it. Here's another one in the black Dublin. The same really nice grain character in the black color. And here's a raw shell Cordovan one-shot card case. I really like the raw shell because it's a little bit lighter and it starts off a dull finish. So when this gets worn, it just naturally develops a really nice patina. And here's another special piece. There's a lot of special pieces today. This one is a deerskin leather from Horween, and it's a tumbled deerskin, so you get a little bit of this textured effect that I think is really neat. And it's sort of this golden color underneath with a darker brown on the surface. What's also really neat about this deerskin is it has a really unique grain character. Every animal hide, the grain is a little bit different. The details in those hair holes are just slightly different, and the deer is a very pronounced grain. And speaking of grain character, here's a very interesting hatch grain shell Cordovan. So we have a little bit of that hatch grain texture on the natural shell, and the natural shell here is a little bit more orange and vibrant. I wonder if the printing process, when they put the texture into this leather, has made some of that color pop out just a little bit more, and it has a really interesting color shift that you might be able to see here. There's one more hatch grain piece here, and this is the whiskey shell Cordovan with a hatch grain. I think that's a really neat look as well. And here's some more fun, interesting stuff. This is actually a leather called Vintage from Horween. And this is a color called blue. So it's blue vintage, and it has a really interesting sort of color depth to it. It sort of has like a hazy white, sort of chalky look. And then some angles, it's a little bit more of that blue shade, more of like a true vibrant blue. And that's this leather has been finished with a bit of wax, which gives it that sort of checked, sort of waxy look, which is a little bit hazy looking. I think it's really neat. And here's another piece. This is a comb sheath in a tumbled blue shell Cordovan. I really hope the color appears correctly in the video, because this tumbled blue shell has a really subtle blue undertone to it, which is really neat. And some of the peaks and valleys, we see a bit of difference in color. So the peaks are a little bit darker, a little bit more of like a dark navy blue, where the valleys on this piece are a little bit more of like an aqua blue. And this comb sheath is paired with a Chicago comb, and this is a metal comb from Chicago Comb. And I've been using one of these metal combs from Chicago Comb for a bunch of years, probably about 6 or 7 years now. You might think that the metal comb would be uncomfortable or a little intimidating, but I really enjoy the heft of this comb. It feels very substantial in your hand. It's just a pleasure to use. And let's take a look here at a Horween Leather belt that is going out today. This one is in the brown chrome excel leather. The brown chrome excel is a super nice color. It's a darker brown, little bits of red undertones to it. All of our belts have this antique brass buckle hardware, which I really like. We have a stamp on the back. This is a size 38. And the other thing that's neat about our Horween Leather belts, I really like these teardrop holes, so you can size. In the center hole here, this is what would be 38 on this belt. So we try to get them sized to that center hole. If you need them a little bit smaller, this one will go 1 inch or 2 in each direction. And I have a really big pile of watch bands and Apple watch straps to show you today. This one first, this is a black reverse shell Cordovan. I really like this greenish tan shade of the black reverse shell. Sometimes it gets a little darker, like you can see on the keepers here. They're a little bit more of a forest green. What's great about these, or any reverse shell Cordovan, is you get to see the random dye marks as well as the Horween ink stamp that you can see on this strap. Here's another special piece. This one's an extra thick Apple Watch band, and this is in the Cobalt Blue Dublin. This is actually a belt weight thickness, so it's about 9 ounce thick, which is typically what you would see in a belt thickness, just like the Horween Leather belt I just showed you. And some people have been into this because they like a little bit of a thicker, chunkier look on the watch strap, so we can do the heavyweight stuff on a Cobalt Blue Dublin. And we do have some more heavyweight pieces here. This is black Chrome Excel, extra thick. This is that belt weight again, just a little bit more substantial of a look on a watch strap. And I think the black Chrome Excel is underrated. That's a really cool leather. Here's another nice Chrome Excel piece. This is the natural Chrome Excel. I'll give you a nice look at this one. Again, we have that extra thick belt weight, 9 ounce Horween Chrome Excel, which is typically intended for belts, but I think it works very nicely on the watch strap. And here's another watch strap, the last Apple Watch strap to show you. This is the Color 8 Shell Cordovan with a really neat lizard texture on it. I really like that fine texture of the lizard on this strap. It looks really, really neat. And 2 more straps to show you here, and both of these are really neat. This is a raw shell Cordovan 2-piece strap. You can get a look here, and I'll show you the next one coming up. It's a normal, natural shell Cordovan. The thing to pay attention to is the luster and color. So you can see the raw shell Cordovan here is very light in color, and it does not have much shine to it at all. It's a little bit more of like a matte finish. And when we compare it to the natural shell Cordovan here, you can sort of immediately see that bright, shiny luster that you expect from shell Cordovan. Really a mirror-like finish. And I also noticed that the natural shell Cordovan that's been polished is a little bit more orange, a little bit more life to it. And I think that's just because of the polishing process is bringing out some more of the orange tones in the shell Cordovan. And here's another natural shell Cordovan piece, but this is a natural reverse shell Cordovan Lexington key case where we have the really nice Horween ink stamp presented on the outside. I think that's really special. Then I have a few Frank the Enforcers to show you. This is Cobalt Blue Dublin, really nice aqua blue undertones in the Cobalt Blue Dublin with a darker navy surface. And I love the grain character on the Dublin. I have a pair of Color 8 shell Cordovan Frank the Enforcers here. Take a look at this incredible piece of shell. Just a bright, shiny luster that's blindingly bright, which is really great. On the front of the Frank, we have 2 card slots there, and we have 1 card slot in the center here. And this large slot will actually fit US dollars folded in half, or just some additional cards. And on the back, we have 1 card slot in the back with this little thumb notch. And what do you say we look at some more wallets here? This is a 100% Color 8 shell Cordovan Giant the Fox, and that is awesome. This is one of our best-selling wallets. I think it's just because it's a classic Color 8 shell color. Really nice look on the outside, but what makes it extra special is the Color 8 shell on the inside. These are tough for us to get. The naturally thin pieces of shell that are required for the inside of the Giant the Fox. So you can see here, even with all those layers of leather, we still have this being a reasonable thickness. So it's a really special piece. There's another Color 8 shell piece here. In fact, there's 2 more. I have a Fat Herbie in Color 8 shell Cordovan. That really great Horween ink stamp in the center, and that classic Color 8 shell. It's a dark brown burgundy shade, sort of an oxblood color. I think it looks really, really nice. And then the last Color 8 piece to show you, this is a Bugs Moran. This is a little bit more of a minimalist style, a minimalist card holder, I would say. On the outside, there's no card slots, no bill slots in the back. So you can fit this nicely into your front pocket, and it fits perfectly in my hand. I just really like the size of this Bugs Moran. Let me give you a look at the inside. We have 2 card slots on each side. And what's great about these, the larger 2 card slots, this one here, you can fit US dollars folded in half in here as well as on the other side. In addition to the smaller 2 card slots above that, these will fit about 3 or 4 cards. And yesterday we had one of these Giant the Foxes. This is intense blue shell Cordovan on the outside with a mock horsehide interior. And I really, really like this piece. The intense blue shell on this Fox is a really great color. That nice aqua blue tone, a little bit darker at some angles, a little bit lighter at other angles. I just find that color shift to be really fascinating. And there's something special about how the mock horsehide on the inside of this wallet really sets off the blue color on the outside. So I think that looks really great. We've got one of these going out today. And the last wallet to show you, this is a special custom ordered piece. This is a Tony the Ant with the color 4 shell Cordovan on the outside. And that is a remarkable piece of color 4 shell. Some angles, the color 4 appears a little bit more red. And then other angles, it's a little bit more of like a caramel brown tone. And the color 4, for many years, for about a decade, was my favorite shell Cordovan color. And I still, every time I get my hands on one, it's really special. Just love looking at the color shift on this guy. And on the inside here, this is where it gets over the top special. We have black marble shell Cordovan card holders on the left and right. And what's really great is this color 4 piece in the center here, the reverse side of that, has really incredible die marks. And these are all random. I happen to think this one is really special looking, and we also were able to get a Horween ink stamp right in the center there. So that's a really special Tony the Ant that is going out today. So let me know what your vote is for your favorite. I'm going to go back to one of the first wallets here. In fact, I think this was the first one. I love this English tan Dublin tall Tony because it's so clean. Just really clean look on the outside. Super clean, smooth look on the inside with a continuous English tan Dublin going all across the interior of the wallet. This is a really special piece. I can't wait for you to have this tall Tony, and for everybody else that saw your wallet in the video today, I can't wait for you to have it put to good use. So until next time, I hope you have a good one, and let me know what you voted for.